Hey y'all, Fuzzy Biker here. We are in Harlan, Iowa. This is Colorado Mark's hot rod Himalayan. He's done a little more work to it. He's done another iteration of the same Mark, of the same bike. This is Mark right here, Colorado Mark. Mark, why don't you tell us what you've done?
Well, I guess first of all, thank Fuzzy for letting me do this. This is kind of a first for his channel. Good friend.
We ride a lot together.
And anyway, from the front to the back, what everybody keeps asking questions about is this.
We'll start with the fender.
And so what we did is I started out with the original beak on it, took the original beak off, but my brother and I, we made a special mount.
Can you see it down there?
Because,
oh, well, it's up in here. Yeah, you won't be able to see it.
Well, if you turn and look down through the gas tank here, you can see kind of how.
Oh yeah, right there.
So we took a piece of 5-inch by 5-inch aluminum, and the original beak that's on these bikes has an angle. It's angled up on the front, so it's not a flat fender like a normal motocross bike would be.
Right.
That you can just drill holes and put in a Chevy's fender on it. So we made we made a bracket, basically, real simple, and we used the original bolts from the original beak
setup, yep.
And we put that mount on first, and then we mounted the fender to that.
So the reason you did it is you wanted to get this cleared up.
Yeah.
Right.
And you know, we all know the famous video of, oh, it wads up with mud,
right,
and yada yada yada, and you know,
and this clears all that up.
And personally, I don't like riding mud unless it's an absolute must.
Yep.
But I think I like the looks of things a lot, obviously. But
so this is all cleared up now.
Yeah. So this is the original guard. We just cut this off and file this off and make it look nice. And a lot of people are like, "Well, there's not enough support for that guard anymore."
And there, problem.
And there really is. I mean, this has a lot of miles on it. This is basically how my CRF 300L is mounted on 2 points, just like this. It sits just like this.
Right. You did move the brake line.
Yes.
And then the other. Yep.
So that comes from Unit Garage.
It's a kit.
And that's a kit that comes so you can relocate that front brake line. And you know, I never had any problem with it. As far as, you know, anything wadding up or anything like that, but it does look nicer, and it is probably safer in the long run.
Right. And then the other thing about the fender is, we were on we were somewhere in Colorado. He was they had sprayed something on the road. It was mucky. My windshield just got covered. I could see the stuff coming forward and then flying back on my bike. Mark didn't have the problem. He didn't have, you know, same road, same speeds. Yeah. He did not. We went and had to go to a car wash.
We're both running. I've got the stock touring screen from Enfield on it right now, but I was running the tall GV,
which is right there.
That one. And Fuzzy was running his GV. And I think what happens on the original fender is the original short fender ends like right in here. And what was happening is it was kicking forward and drafting over the beak and coming up. And his windshield was, and he made a video on this, but his shield was just completely covered, and I had nothing on mine. So this does work.
Better mud protection from that, blowing back. More clearance, don't have to worry about the mud buildup. And then back here, he did the mud flap to keep everything off of here.
Yep.
Yep.
And then
somebody was worried about overheating. That has not been a problem. These bikes have a heat gauge, and we've monitored that, and it just has not happened.
Yeah, there's no vent in that fender or anything. I've had no issues whatsoever. We've been up to 100 degrees Fahrenheit.
And all kinds of road.
Right.
So, okay, so that's the front end there.
Yep.
By the way, it's got the upside down forks with the 43 millimeter forks.
These are Keuig lights. I liked them because they were smaller. And they're kind of a multi-cycle, so when I hit the button the first time, they go to amber. I hit it one more time, it goes to clear, and then it's got some cycles you can go through where they modulate and whatnot. And
they're bright.
I don't mess with any of that, so I just usually use the amber, and they do work. People look twice when you're at an intersection.
And then when you were in Wyoming with Brock Gill Group,
right? I was riding. I rode sweep. With a small group, and what the lead rider said, it was kind of nice because I could see who was running sweep because I had these lights on, and he said that was
very bright. He had them in amber, right?
Yep, in amber I run them. But got the headlight guard. That's an Enfield. Obviously, I'm running the Enfield touring screen right now.
And you have like 3 or 4 screens. For
Yeah,
this
I've tried pretty much everything. What I've kind of settled in on is I like this one for probably most of the time.
Right.
But if I'm doing trips, if I'm riding with Fuzzy or we're going anywhere, any distance or whatnot,
If we're going a long ride,
I'll put the GV screen on, and it does that. That's just a wonderful screen if you're not too short.
Right.
If you're a shorter rider, that GV windshield is not going to work. And I would say if you're under 5'7" or 5'8",
I'm 5'8", and I can look over it and it works well for me. But
it depends on how you're built. But yeah.
And you got the Garmin XT.
Yeah, this is an XT2.
Right.
I'm going blank. I put the lock on this.
Yep, he's got a kit lock for it.
Maybe I can find that out and Fuzzy can drop that in. But it's kind of nice where I can lock it. You know, it's just mainly for.
It's got a good touchscreen. Yeah. It's a lot of information. When we went to when we were in Moab, we were using that to get around. Gary has one. Gary actually has the older one, the 396.
Yeah, and it worked good until we went someplace where we shouldn't have gone. But I'm sure everybody has stories about Garmin sending them down rabbit holes.
Right.
So I put the Cherubies blackout handguards on it. These and all this, pretty much most things on this bike have come from Baxter Cycle.
Right.
So these are adjustable levers that we got from Baxter Cycle.
I need those.
These are double take mirrors. I run the wide angle. I kind of like that. It's kind of like a blind spot. You know, some people think they're dorky. I'm an old man. I don't care.
They work well.
I've got the Viridian cruise control.
A must-have.
And this is the switch for the fog lights.
And then heated grips.
Yep, and heated grips. These are Kosos.
Right, with the control button right there.
Right. Running the Lone Rider bags. I like the Lone Rider. I guess I'm kind of a
Lone Rider.
Like to be a little different. Everybody else is running the Moscow Moto. The Lone Rider, I like their products. I think they're great.
And you got
I just
cool
mounted
bottle.
this because sometimes when I go over to Baxter's, I like to take my own coffee. This is just a water bottle. It works kind of well. I use a Neotech helmet like Fuzzy does, so I can take a drink if I need to.
Just open
with a
up.
modular helmet. This is a handlebar bag from them. Obviously, it works great.
And you've got your power bank in there. You can see that.
Yep. I've got mine that runs through there to hook the phone up or whatever. And I just have been after. This bike has 13,000 miles on it now.
Yeah, he rides his bike.
And well, I'm mortal compared to him.
You ride your bike.
So, but I actually just hooked up the Google Maps on this bike after a year and 13,000 miles, and I wish I would have done it sooner. And I think between that and this,
so the 2 different nav systems.
Yeah, it's a great combination. If you want to go that route, the Cherubies tank is
really sweet.
Is fairly new. I found it for a good price. It was. I think it's a great addition. It's supposed to give you 2 extra gallons. I think in reality it gives you about 1.5 gallons because I don't think it draws all of the gas, and I don't know. Fuzzy can say if the stock one runs all the gas or not. But
you get about 4 gallons out of the stock one.
So this one
4, maybe a little more.
This one may slope a little bit or whatever. But I ran this bike out of gas. I brought some fuel with me, and I ran it completely out of fuel. And I was running about 60, 65 miles an hour with the GV screen.
The bigger screen.
The bigger screen in our local areas here, and that was with a tailwind and a headwind and every kind of wind. Up hills, down hills, whatnot, and I got almost right at 300 miles of range out of this tank.
Not too bad.
The other thing I wanted to check was if this bike goes to 0, how far can you go on 0?
Right.
And I went 21 miles on 0 on this tank.
So when the bike says it's on 0, he went another 21 miles.
Until it quit.
Range. Yeah, when the range thing said he was on 0 out of gas, he actually rode another 21 before he went dead on it.
So I don't advise doing that unless you have fuel with you, obviously. But
he had his giant loop bag with you, full of gas.
Yeah, just a gas bag with me. But so that's that. A lot of people are kind of asking questions about that tank, and the tank it's a great product. It is lighter. They say it's about 6 pounds lighter than the stock tank, empty, obviously.
Right, before you fuel.
Before you refuel, it's going to be heavier with the fuel in it. But,
Which means once you get down to the normal level of the stock tank, this is a net loss in weight.
right.
You'll be lighter than
Right.
average.
And a lot of people are like, well, it's going to make it so top heavy. Well, it does make it top heavy for about
The first gallon.
65 miles.
Yeah,
you know.
after that it's even, and then after that a low. Yeah.
And it actually, I think after that, it carries its weight even maybe a little lower than the stock tank. So that's just...
So we're looking at a Chirby for the tank, a Chirby for this. You've also got the side armor Chirby.
Yep, the Chirby's side armor and the skid plate.
Right there.
And I do have the chain guide over on this side.
More of Chirby's armor right here. And then right down there.
Yeah, that's the chain guide. The stock chain guide is just a single-sided. I don't really know what it does, but I suppose it looks nice. This one actually encases the chain for tracking. Foot pad. This is the new shift lever I just got from Baxter's. It's really nice, billet aluminum. I had the same problem as Fuzzy. The other day
I've had four shift levers.
The other day I started I just grabbed it for, just to play around, and it was loose. And I mean, there's no way I could get it any tighter. And it was ready to strip out. Brought a paper clip with me on that ride, like Fuzzy did, to be able to fix the thing. It was fine, but then Jeremy over at Baxter's, he got these in, and these are just wonderful. Really nice billet aluminum. I don't know the brand, but you can get a hold of Baxter's on that. Yep. I've run pivot pegs on pretty much all of my bikes.
Let's stop a minute. All his bikes, okay? Mark has had every bike you can possibly imagine. 1200 Tigers, a couple of those. 900 Tiger. Did you have the 800s?
I had an 800.
Yep.
Well, let's just go front to back. So my journey started with a KLR, a 2008 second generation.
Yeah.
And that's where my...
Great bikes, by the way.
Yeah, and the KLR is a legend. It's awesome bike. We love
It's
KLR.
the grandfather to these.
We love
feel.
KLRs. Yeah. That's where my journey in Farkling started. And I actually think the KLR guys are the ones that invented that word.
Right,
and give them props for that. But anyway... so the KLR, and then I went to a 1200 XC Tiger. Went with
the big one, yeah, shaft drive.
And then what did I have? I had an XR 650L, and the
Honda, yeah,
Honda, and then I had a 690 KTM.
Wow, that had to be a bike.
Yeah, I said the 450.
No.
The WR 450.
Right.
And the 690 and an 800 XCA Tiger. And then I had a 900 Rally Pro.
That was a nice bike.
And great bike. Those bikes.
Beautiful bike.
I think that's the best bike that Triumph makes, really.
I think it's one of the best bikes made, period.
They're wonderful bikes.
Yes.
And then I went with the big boy. I went with the 1200 Rally Pro.
The new one.
The newer
one, yep.
And that's the bike. I mean, that is a phenomenal motorcycle. I mean, if you're going to tour and you want power and everything else in the shaft drive, wonderful bike, just like the GSs or any of the rest of them.
150 horsepower, I think that one was.
But for me, at my age, I was kind of like, well, it was just too much, everything. There's too much power, too much money invested, too much technology, too much, just
a lot of money to farkle, it, a lot of
for me personally,
weight for out in the wild. You know?
Yeah. Any of you guys that have those bikes and love them, I loved mine. It just wasn't for me, and I've loved all the bikes I've had, just like Fuzzy does.
Oh yeah,
all bikes are Fuzzy's children. So, but I do still own a CRF 300L that's highly modified. Fuzzy's done a video on it.
Oh, it's a great bike.
And I was really torn. Should I get rid of that bike? And I've told myself, well, I'm not getting any younger. I might want to shed another 100 and some pounds.
Well, the other one is Colorado. You know, he goes out Mosquito Pass and all those on that particular
that
bike.
bike's been up some pretty good fun passes out in Colorado.
So is this.
But as far as the comparison between, and a lot of people are like, well, the 300L or modify that or this, and they're really not the same bikes. They are and they aren't. You know, this is at least 100 pounds heavier.
Yeah, there's such a thing as a dual sport. You know, this is not a dual
Right.
sport. This is we call them travel bikes
Yes.
or ADVs. You know, you drive a long way to get somewhere and then you go have your fun.
Yeah.
Or a dual sport, you drive a little ways and then you go have your fun.
But this bike, you know, going back to all the bikes I had, I had a 1200 Scrambler, an XE.
Oh, those
also.
are beautiful things, yeah.
But when I'm out at our place in Colorado, there's a lot of instances where I get places and I ride by myself a lot out there. I can't get this guy out there enough. He's always going across the country. So, but if I'm by myself, I'm 61 years old. There's a lot of places on those big 1200s and whatnot, and even the Rally Pro 900 for myself. I would find an area that I wanted to go, and I wouldn't go there just because if something went wrong, you know, it's going to be an expensive drop, or I might hurt
more weight to
myself
pick
doing
up.
it.
Yeah.
So
more top heavy.
So this bike, does it eliminate that? No, it really doesn't eliminate that. I probably will go. I have gone some more places on this than I would on those other bikes. And if you drop it, it's not a $24,000 motorcycle.
Well, we did a video where we laid one of these over in his neighbor's yard, and he picked it up twice with the handlebars. So, you know,
Yeah,
you can do that with
this. This bike is if you know what you're doing on this bike, pretty much anybody can pick this bike up. I think, anyway, if you've got the proper technique. But yeah, I mean, every time I get on this bike, and Fuzzy's the same way, I mean, every time we get on them, we just want to ride them more. I mean, I've never owned a bike out of that whole resume of motorcycles that I would get on after a year and just say, I really want to ride that bike. This bike, I do. I don't know why it is, but I just do it, you know. And obviously, I'm a Royal Enfield fanboy, just like Fuzzy is.
We've both had our share of those.
Yep.
So the bikes he told you about are just the ones that are dirt related or ADV related.
Right.
There's a whole list of other ones for both of us.
So my current stable is this, a 350 Bullet, new one, a Monkey.
That's for the lake house.
Yeah, the 350 300L.
Right.
And then which one did I miss?
The Gorilla.
Oh, the Gorilla. Yes,
We both have Gorillas.
I've got a Gorilla in the garage here,
Yeah.
which I absolutely love too. And they're completely different motorcycles. But
Same engine, but
Yeah.
totally different bikes. I was on mine yesterday. Just amazing.
Yeah, but anyway, back to this bike.
Yes.
You know, you notice that. So this bike started out as a Casa Brown, you know, entry level last year motorcycle. I drove this bike or rode this bike completely stock, nothing on it, not even handguards, for the first 3,000 miles in Colorado. I mean, nothing, skid plate or anything.
So that I want to just jump in real quick. That's another thing about this bike is just from the factory, they're incredibly capable already. Just, you know, a couple $1,000s, you can be up to Alaska and back. So they've got almost everything you need right out of the box.
And that is with the stock tires.
Right.
Everybody poo-poos the stock tires. The first thing they talk about is, oh, the
I
stock
like them.
tires are terrible.
I like them.
I did rock garden passes. I did pavement.
We did Cumberland Pass. I had stock tires.
Yeah, we did sections of the BDR with the stock tires. And you know, I don't know. I mean, I think people get wrapped around the axle with the tire thing, but we got there. It wasn't a problem.
We had our fun.
We all want our better tires. I get that. But this is obviously, we've changed a lot on this bike. And the thing I'd like to say is that you don't have to do that.
Right.
Fuzzy has proved that. So your bike basically has three main things. You have cruise control,
Right.
handguards, and a GV windscreen.
Yes. Yeah. And then luggage. But yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
And then I got different tires.
right,
But-
different tires. But he's proof that you can do a ton on this motorcycle and not spend and farkle like I did.
What fun is that, right?
That's kind of the fun of owning the bike. We all know that nobody leaves their bike stock. We've got a saying over at Baxter's: the most unique Royal Enfield is a stock one.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of like the old Sportster saying, you know, no such thing as a stock.
Right,
Himalayan
especially an
anymore.
Interceptor. Does anybody
Right.
own a stock Interceptor? No, they don't.
Right.
But so the wheels, I acquired these wheels last week from another gentleman that's a Baxter customer, Nathan, right?
Nathan, yep.
Nathan.
So these are tubeless.
These are tubeless.
And gold.
And I had black tubeless on this bike. And I just wanted to, I like the gold wheels with the black. I think it looked nice. And Nathan had traded for a different bike. And Jeremy and I, we kind of worked it out where we kind of traded wheels. And these wheels have actually been to Prudhoe Bay.
They have. I've got pictures of that bike with these wheels.
So I probably will never be to Prudhoe Bay, but at least something on my bike has been there. So we've got we put the Zard exhaust on it. This is I think this is AEW, isn't it, Fuzzy?
Yes.
AEW cat delete. This is an issue you'll deal with the cat delete on the AEWs. This is a new rubber stopper we put on it because the center stand does not.
Doesn't line up quite right.
AEW needs to remedy this because we're still getting them at the shop that they're not correct.
Baxter has a way to fix it.
Yeah,
like
we have a way of modifying them
right.
for when the bikes go out. I just did the wrap on it, the ghost. I basically made a Mana Black bike before there was a Mana Black bike.
Yes, you did. He's got it on the front fender too.
Everybody asks about this. This just kind of goes back to Fuzzy and I's old days of when we used to ride, and back in the day we'd go through cornfields and pick up corn stalks. Well, this is what happens when the corn stalk hits. It doesn't go back.
We call those brakes. They call those brake snakes.
Yeah, that's just the kids don't know anything about those.
Yeah. The tire on the back.
Yeah. So when we did the wheels, I've always run Trailmax Missions, just like Fuzzy does.
Yeah, I love that tire.
I absolutely love them, and I always said to myself, as long as they make them, that's what I'm going to run. Well, then they come out with the Raid.
This is a Dunlop Trailmax Raid on the rear.
So far, I've only had it on pavement. I've only had them just a few days, or this one.
They're just put on.
And on the pavement, I don't notice any difference whatsoever with this tire than with the Mission. I did stay with the Mission on the front.
Dunlop Trailmax Mission on the front. Okay.
And people are going to wonder why the heck would you do that? And I'm like, well, I ride a ton of gravel roads around this area, and I ride a lot of rock and whatnot in Colorado. I know what the predictability is of this tire.
Basically, we want to learn about the back one before we go.
Learn about the back. We may switch the front out to a Raid, but right now, with winter setting in tomorrow here, I don't think I'm going to get much opportunity to do a lot of testing with this. But the Missions are fantastic tires, and everybody that I've watched, they love the Raids also. Your lifespan is a lot less on these.
So the Raid is, we think it's a softer rubber, so it won't hold up as well, but it'll have more grip and more bite. And it's also designed, isn't it a 50-50 tire?
Yeah, I think the Missions are considered like, they used to call those a 50-50, Dunlop called them, but now they're calling them like a 30-70.
Okay, so they're more gravel. These are more gravel oriented.
Yeah,
and we want to see how they work before we do a total commitment.
These I would consider a true 50-50.
Okay.
Myself anyway. I don't notice a lot of noise on them. Everybody knows what this is.
The famous Colorado Mark toolkit.
Yeah,
that's a Tusk bag, handlebar bag.
That was a Tusk handlebar bag that I had on my CRF that I had taken off, and it was hanging on the wall, and I saw this empty space, and now every Himalayan we see, somebody's got that or another version of it sitting there.
Another Lone Rider bag.
That's the Lone Rider tail bag. And I am running, I don't have it here, but I've got the Lone Rider rackless system, their new rackless system that I got last summer when they were affordable. They aren't anymore. And my brother and I, we devised a little mud flap for that. I've had people say, why don't you put the rally kit on this? And I'm just kind of like, well, because I don't like mud slung up over my head, first of all. But to each their own. I just like the versatility of the stock setup.
You do have the rally seat, though, right?
Yes, I do have the rally seat.
He and I both own the rally seat.
And I like the rally seat. I like it that it's firm. I just wish Royal Enfield would just widen it out a little bit. If they did that, I don't think anybody would run this setup that's over 5'8" or 9.
This is a stock seat here. This is not the rally seat. This is a stock seat.
This is a stock seat.
Right. Which we both find very comfortable. I've got 62 on mine.
And I'm a sheepskin guy. I've always run the sheepskin. This is off one of my old cruiser bikes. And I just kind of devised that out for it the other day. That's a Rhino Walk net. I like that because when I get off the bike, I can go like this and stick my gloves or my hat
Yep.
or whatever underneath
Whatever you
there,
need.
and you know where everything's at. Or when you're gassing up, you can stick stuff up underneath there.
Radiator guard.
Yeah, this is the Royal Enfield radiator guard, but I painted that black. I think you can get a black one now. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think Baxter's carries them in black.
Yeah, I think you can get a black one.
Ask about it.
That's an older one. I just shot it with some rattle can.
Here's a camo on the fender that you put.
Yeah, and a lot of people are like, well, you know, you want to take the center stand off to lighten it up. I don't think that's an issue just because the weight, you don't notice that weight down there.
Plus,
down that low.
You're out in the middle of nowhere and you want to do some chain work or anything on the back. Believe me, you want the center stand.
Right.
And,
I like the center stand, and you know, a lot of people are like, well, you need tubes in your tires. You know, I've had a lot of flats, and I tell you what, I've had a lot of flats on tubeless tires and rims. In fact, when I got back from the ride up in Centennial, Wyoming, I had a nail dead center in the front of my Mission on the other wheels, and pulled it out with my Leatherman, plugged it.
He carries a kit and a compressor and all that stuff.
So these bags, I keep my rain gear, puffer jacket, you know, extra pair of gloves in this one. The one on that side is first aid kit. My electric air pump. I do carry a manual pump also, because you just never know.
Right.
If these don't come off the bead, I can get home. I've been fortunate. I have never cut a sidewall or anything like that. And you know, a lot of people say, "Well, don't you air down in Colorado or whatever?" No, I don't.
Neither do I.
I don't want to mess with it.
I've never aired down either. So yeah.
I've gotten everywhere I've gotten to go just by leaving the stock air pressures, and yeah, I might have a little better ride, I guess, if I lower them down. But you can watch Brett Tack's video on tire pressure, and that's kind of what cured me of worrying too much about airing down.
The other one is this is the bike that went to Utah. I just posted a video a while back of my Bear in Utah. Colorado Mark and I, good guy Gary was on a Tiger. I was on my Bear 650. This was the other bike. This bike went up. He would go up and come back down and check on us. We were having so much trouble. The roads we were on were and you guys, the camera ran out of battery before we got to the worst of that ride. But the roads we were on were shelves and baby heads and stair steps, and I mean to tell you, it was rugged. And
old man on the wrong bike.
Yeah, that was Gary and I on the wrong bikes. Yeah.
Well, I'm old too, but I had more of a proper bike. I wish I would have had my CRF.
That would have been the correct bike for that trail, but this bike did it, and so did the other ones. You know, we got through it. We got through it. We worked together, and we got out of there. Yeah.
But yeah, no. Going back to the bike itself, I absolutely love this bike. I told Jeremy the other day. You know, I rode it over on a crappy day like today, and you know, and it was cold, and I had the grips on, or the grip heaters on, and I just wanted to keep going, you know. Yep. It's just one of those kind of bikes, and I call it the yak, you know. The people in the Himalayans are Sherpas, and they use yaks, and this is my yak to haul my butt and my stuff around on, and it gets me there. And I have not had any issues whatsoever. Fuzzy's talked about any issues he's had. The only issue I might have going on right now is I'm feeling just a really, really tiny bit of issue maybe with the top stem bearing. And that's when I'm going over washboard or anything like that. It doesn't do it at all on the pavement. I have to really have the right frequency. But, you know, we'll take care of that.
We'll check it. Yeah, and that's also one of the regular maintenance items. You're supposed to check that periodically. And we've done that on my bike, and I haven't had that trouble yet. But, you know. But
the great thing is, you know, when you get these bikes, they've got a 3-year warranty on them. Yeah. And you know, this guy, he's gonna have 200,000 miles on his in 3 years.
They're gonna have to give me a new bike, right?
Yeah, they'll just have to give him a new bike. But the rest of us are kind of mere mortals, the way we ride. And you know, this bike I've ridden probably more miles than I normally have on other bikes.
That's the other thing. They're so rideable.
But yeah, when you have 5 bikes and I got 13,000 on this one.
That tells you something.
I think between them all, I probably put 20,000 on this year.
Yeah.
combined. But this one obviously was the main go-to bike this year, and just love it. Love this bike.
So we're both Baxter Cycle folks. We're regulars there. Now, if y'all are interested in a bike like this, new or used Royal Enfield, Triumph, classic British bike of any type, need parts, accessories, thingamajigs, doodads, coats, jackets, helmets, gloves, gear like this guy's got on, gear like I've got on, get yourself over to Baxter Cycle in the mighty metropolis of Marnie, or go to baxtercycle.com. Tell them Colorado Mark sent you, Fuzzy Biker sent you. And, you know, it's a kind of a rainy, overcast day here. Where I live, it's actually raining. But if it's nice where y'all are at, get out and ride, my friends. Get off the couch, get out of that easy chair, get out and live life. Wahoo!
Wahoo!
That's the guy. That's the guy that owns it.
Oh, that's
Dude.
Keep the greasy side down.
Wahoo! Vermont. Wahoo! Wahoo! Wahoo, Alaska!